Um, Jesus is Lord of my life, became Lord of my life in 1996, gave Jesus my life and meant business. So everything about my life has been him from him unto now. I'm not here to explain things away. That's not my assignment. Not here to justify myself or minimize anything that's going on. I believe I have an assignment as a leader, and I think I'm looking right into the camera. Sometime when you own these things, you be looking at the picture, but the picture's not the camera, right? So I think I'm looking at the camera. If I'm not, I'm trying to look at the camera. Uh, but I am here to take responsibility. I'm here to speak plainly and allow this moment, if you will allow it, to teach us all something. It's not about the headlines. Of course, no one likes to see their name blasted all over the internet or on the news. No one wants to go through that. No one wants to endure the comments of social media commentary, but it's not about that. For me, it's strictly about my character. It's about stewardship. It's about me being aligned, and it's about me being the best version of myself that God has called me to be. I made a promise to the Lord as we came into 2026. The Lord said to me that this is the year of the divide. Almost the children of Israel going from one part of land to the other part of land. But guess what? They left things behind when they crossed over the Red Sea. And I made it my business that when I came into 2026, that I was going to leave some things behind. Well, I believe that leadership means you have to face moments like this honestly, that I don't get the privilege to run from them. I don't get to hide from them, but I have to face them. This is not personal. This is ministry. So that's why I'm addressing it. And I believe that once you take full responsibility for what goes on in your life, you eliminate excuses. I don't want to blame anybody for what has happened. No one is to blame. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not blaming pressure. I'm not blaming timing. I'm not blaming the system. I'm saying completely, this is mine to own. If you have are aware, there's an article that is going on about me concerning me pleading guilty as it pertains to obstruction of justice. I was confronted with it. And when I was confronted with it, of course, I didn't know all of the details because, as I said on last night, as a black man, when you're raised coming up, we do file taxes, but we don't file taxes to pay money. We file taxes to get a refund. So as a young man, I was thrust into an enormous amount of money. And I want to say that when I was confronted with this, I immediately made it my business to take responsibility for it. I believe that the only way you properly grow is after you own something. The scripture showed us that Adam blamed Eve, right? Saul blamed the people. But David said, against thee and against thee only have I sinned and done this evil in thy sight. And only one of those responses was the one that led to true restoration. It was the person who said, I've done it, it's my fault, and I was wrong. And so I wanted to communicate to the people to whom I pastor, communicate to the people who watch me all over the world, which I felt it was my responsibility to own. I don't even want to blame ignorance because ignorance doesn't equal malice, but it also doesn't remove accountability. And I want to say this clearly, and I want to say this extremely carefully. A lot of things that I did were done out of ignorance, not out of malicious intent, not trying to deceive nobody. I wasn't trying to harm anybody. But I also want to say ignorance does not excuse responsibility. And just because there was no malicious intent in it doesn't remove accountability. Now, ignorance may explain how something happened, but it doesn't justify that it actually happened. And what I didn't understand, I still had the responsibility to learn. What I mishandled, I still have the responsibility to correct. What I should have known, I have to take ownership of it. And growth requires the humility of me to say that I should have handled this differently, and now I will. So there were things that were brought to me. And when they were brought to me, I had an option. I can go to trial, but to go to trial means that I have to go sit before some people, or I can take what I'm faced with and say, okay, I see that. I understand that. I take full accountability for that. And I want to plead guilty. So that's what I did. I didn't run from it. I was confronted with it from the Department of Justice. I engaged me an attorney, followed the direction of my attorney. Of course, he gives advice, legal counsel, but he gave me the counsel that was best. And I believe in the multitude of counsel, there is safety. I was not coerced. I was not bribed. I was not manipulated. In and of my own volition, I made the choice to plead guilty. And I did that because I want to start 2026 taking responsibility for anything that I have done wrong. And I made it my business to do that this year. I want to face it. So that's what I'm doing. I am taking responsibility and saying, no matter whether I knew better or not, no matter whether I was skilled or not, no matter whether I had understanding or not, none of that matters. At the end of the day, to whom much is given, much is required. This opportunity to communicate to every preacher, every man, woman, boy, or girl, any business owner, any content creator, anybody who does business. Handle your business. Don't put anyone in place to handle your business for you. You handle it. You know what's going on with your life. Yes, you're anointed. Yes, you're powerful. But calling doesn't cancel competence. And just because you're gifted doesn't mean you're a good steward. And I think a lot of times when we're use of God, we think that it gives us immunity from structure and we can do whatever we want to do. But spiritual fruit, yes, people are saved. Yes, people are healed. Yes, I lay hands on the sick. Yes, I prophesy with accuracy and precision and see great things happen in people's life. But it does not excuse neglect in practical areas.